So, very good evening once again, and especially to our two learned speakers this evening. We have with us Datuk Chia, a very known face here at Buddhist Mahavihara, even though he's been missing for a long time. And also, of course, Bhante, Dr. Chandima. I think everybody knows him. He's been here for almost 2 months now. And this evening we are here to participate in what's called a dialogue session. Now, this dialogue session was started last year. It was a brainchild of Bhante Chandima, and today will be the 13th session. So I don't know whether it's auspicious or not to call it 13th. So we call it 13.A lah, just to be safe, so that the recording goes without any blood. 12A, okay, 12A. And the title of today's discussion is basically, can wealth and career coexist within Buddhist practice? I think that's a very interesting topic because we all have our careers, we all like to make some money, but does that coexist with Buddhist practices and philosophy? And Brother Charlie, I'm so used to call him Brother Charlie rather than Datuk Charlie, because we grew up together actually here at Buddhist Mahavihara. Brother Charlie will be the moderator for this evening, and Bhante Chandima will be the panelist. So Brother Charlie will be throwing questions at Bhante, and Bhante will try to answer them as best as he can. So without much ado, let me quickly read their profiles. Firstly, our moderator, Datuk Charlie Chia, is an advocate and solicitor at Hati and Co. It's a lawyer's firm, and also an independent director of listed construction company GDB Holdings Berhad. He is the retired group CEO of another listed property developer, UM Land Berhad, and remains as an independent director of the group. He started as a chartered quantity surveyor and then has worked himself in construction, real estate development, and now in legal services. He's jumped jobs, from construction and real estate to legal services. And inspiring and motivational speaker to many Buddhist societies, universities, and colleges. He speaks on fundamental Buddhist doctrines, mind cultivation, and practical daily living. That's why we got him here today to ask these kind of questions on daily living and how we can progress in life using Buddhist principles. Datuk Charlie has founded many Buddhist organizations, namely the BMS Youth Section, the Kota Tinggi Buddhist Society, Metta Lodge in Johor Bahru, the Kuantan Buddhist Association. I think we can go on, Babs, Nalanda. He had played a part in all of them. He's currently a lay advisor to the Buddhist Missionary Society of Malaysia, BMSM. He was also conferred the Nalanda Award 2017 for leadership and integrity for his work in the program Compassion in Action with the Mahabodhi International Meditation Center in Ladakh in the Himalayas in India. Brother Charlie used to conduct a lot of trips to Ladakh, compassionate welfare projects that he undertook with his group of people. I think he's done many, many trips to Ladakh and is very familiar with Ladakh. Now moving on to Bhante, who's the panelist this evening. Bhante Dr. Chandima is an associate editor. Sorry, this is the wrong one. Bhante Dr. Chandima is an associate professor, or is going to be an associate professor in the Department of Philosophy at the Ateneo de Manila University in the Philippines starting December 2024. That's why he has to leave us and go there. It's our loss, but their gain. So Bhante obtained his PhD in Buddhist studies and Sanskrit from USJ. What's USJ, Bhante? Sorry. USJ. What's USJ? It's a name of university? Oh, okay. When we hear you say USJ, we always think of PJ, Shalam PJ. And he's an experienced teacher of early Buddhism. He has given teachings in various parts of the world, including Canada, US, Japan, Malaysia, and Singapore. He was formerly a research fellow at the Center for Studies in Religion and Society, short is CSRS, at the University of Victoria in Canada, and the Buddhist chaplain at the University of British Columbia, Vancouver. In his most recent article, The Function and Contemporary Role of Sikha Pachakana, Abandoning the Training Rules in the Pali Canon, which was published in the Journal of Buddhist Ethics under the Pennsylvania State University Press in the US. That was done recently. And Bhante can be accessed, or his works, and all his work that he's doing here, especially in Malaysia right now, can be accessed at his blog. It's called the Patisota blog. And this blog has been ranked 58th globally in the 100 best Buddhist blogs and websites in 2024 by FeedSpot, somebody who monitors all kinds of websites. So we should congratulate Bhante for achieving this success with Patisota. And we all can also be happy because we're also part of that, because we contributed to providing content for his blog. So you should be happy and join in to be joyous with Bhante as well. So without much ado, let's start this evening's Dhamma discussion or dialogue on can wealth and career coexist within Buddhist practice. So I hand the floor to Bhante and Datuk Charlie.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Venerable Sir, Bhante, Chandima, and brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, Namo Buddhaya, and Sukhi Hotu. Welcome to today's session, and with the pertinent topics like this. There was actually an occasion when, well, I had a nice Mercedes Benz, and I was giving a talk in one of the Buddhist centers, and then some of the Buddhist devotees came up to me and says, Brother Charlie, I thought Buddhists should not be rich, and Buddhists should not own Mercedes. Buddhists should not pursue wealth. Buddhists should renounce wealth and should give up their wealth and live what you call as simple and be what you call contented with what you want. And finally, of course, Buddhists should not go crazy about money. That sets me to a lot of queries and confusion to a certain extent to say, is it really true that what the Buddha taught all the while is trying to get me to become a monk and renounce everything? Or is it giving me a way, actually, to become wealthy, to be successful in life, and subsequently maybe makes a lot of money, and at the same time able to enjoy some of the luxuries which the wealth could afford? And then it came up to me with a new topic for my talk, and I call it Rich Buddhist, Poor Buddhist. This comes from the Robert Kiyosaki's topic on the book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Whether you want to have a rich dad or whether you want to have a poor dad. And this question here is whether you want to be a rich Buddhist or a poor Buddhist. And again, it sets me into a lot of thinking, to say that, okay, a lot of our young people is now finding Buddhism or the Dhamma very dry and very negative in the sense that it sort of pushed them into not being ambitious enough, not driven, not pursuing what you call high achievements and wealth. And then at the end of the day, they become disinterested. And you find that now a lot of centers, the members are always above 60. And this is happening. So we all thought and gathered among ourselves and says, look, I think we have to convene the Buddha's teachings to actually come up with what we call something like what Anthony Robbins and the rest of the motivational speakers to teach about success in life, but based on the Buddha's teachings. Because we all believe that the Buddha has actually divided us into two categories of followers. One is actually the renunciates, where you have the bhikkhus and the bhikkhunis who have renounced their worldly life and goes into full-time studying the Dhamma and trying to get wisdom, and then after that share it and contribute to the laities. On the other hand, he is also thinking of the laities, because it has to be a very symbiotic relationship between these two groups of communities, because one supports the other. Because if the renunciate doesn't have that laity to give dana, to provide the requisites, they would not be able to then survive in order to practice to an extent. And on the other hand, after being practiced for some time, then they can actually contribute back the renunciates to advise, to counsel, to teach the Dhamma. So there is actually a symbiotic relationships. And we all note that the Buddha had in many suttas taught about how a person should accumulate wealth and so on. So that comes back to this question is, can Buddhists pursue wealth? What is your concept? And what do you think about this? Bhante.
First of all, thank you, Buddhist Mahavihara, Brother Leslie, for hosting this dialogue sessions which we started last year with many Dhamma speakers, professionals, and all these people. So, I'd like to be happy to sit down with you, Datuk Charlie Chia. First time I met you.
Yeah.
I hope that we will not disappoint.
We heard a lot about
I hope that
Bhante.
we will not disappoint anybody here about money by the end, and then truly get to the bottom of this
Topic.
intersection, wealth, and then career, and on the side, spirituality. I think what we are trying to look at here is a misconception. Rather than, I think you said the problem. The problem is that when people look at Buddhism, they are asked to look at only in one way. That one way is enlightenment only. And we understand many suttas. If you have a wide reading of the suttas, you will see that how many suttas were given to the lay people and not the monks, not the nuns. So I think lay people should pursue those suttas in the first place. And then if you think that you want to be a little bit serious about your life, then only you can read about those other suttas. So when a Sangha member is giving a Dhamma talk, probably they are not very much paying attention to this bracket. I say lay Buddhism, monastic Buddhism. So then these two have to be separated. Buddha has separated them. So what I can tell you at this point is that these two really coexist, actually going beyond these two, because career is the way you make money, the wealth at the end, and then this money is not evil, and money is also spiritual, right? It is spiritual, it is divine too, right? Say for instance, someone wants to do good karma, you need money, right? Without money you can't do anything. Without money, Buddhist Mahavihara cannot do anything here, even hosting this event. Somebody has to donate. So we understand, we have to. So I think a lot of the hardcore Buddhist teachings, they have to be understood, but they were given in a way that this is the part and parcel of Buddhism. So I think we have to discuss about the Buddha's thoughts about money for the lay people, not for the Sangha members. So I think Nekkhamma, renunciation is the area where Sangha members are supposed to be very much concerned of. But even Sangha members cannot go away from money nowadays, because you can't carry a full-time kappya anywhere, right? I mean, they're asking kappias, who's they receiving money. So you can't bring kappias everywhere because people have to donate for the kappia too. Air flights, air tickets, everything. So I think now we have come to a certain level, even going beyond that primary understanding, that how to deal with money. Not that no to the money. How to deal with money, how to deal with wealth, going beyond money, wealth management. So that is where we have to discuss today. So I think what we are doing today is to dispel a misconception about money, as you said, because not there is a certain good understanding about this, good dialogue about this intersection. Many young people, they are distancing from Buddhism. Because they are distancing, not because they know very well, because whatever the things that they are getting to hear about money is about a lot of negative stuff, as you said.
Yeah, true.
So at least you knew that you had a Mercedes at that point. But what about other people? They are not very open-minded about it. So today, throughout this discussion, we are going to dispel and how to look at money and finally wealth in a very holistic, wholesome understanding. That will be our flow in our discussion. Yeah.
Actually, it's true that, sometimes when we want to raise funds and we want to, collect money from wealthy people, but we all note that every time when we stretch our hands, it's the same wealthy people that is donating all over the time. So there will come a point in time when we exhaust that resource, and then we will be running out of any more expansion funds. So the idea is to actually cultivate inside our, Buddhist communities, to say, hey, you need to pursue your wealth. The Buddha never said no to that, right? And then at the same time, you need to improve, increase, and expand the base for the collection of wealth to support the sasana. Because if we have only that handful and had that handful all the time, then you are only depending on a very limited resource. So in order for us to have much more wider ambitions in the building of the sasana, we need to widen up the base. And that is when we have to go out actually to cultivate. Secondly, I think it's a lot of our young people now. You find that their emphasis on spirituality is not so enthusiastic, in the sense that to them, their ultimate goal is make money first. Because their first salaries during the first few years is not enough to even support their lifestyle. And hopefully they don't go to their parents for SOS. Instead of those days, when we get our first salaries, we will always pass it to our parents, a certain portion of it, to support our family. Now it's very rare to see our children coming up with a portion of their money in order to support their parents or their family. So we need to cultivate that wealth creation. But in the process of creating that wealth in our young, the Buddha must have taught quite a number of teachings in the various manner of how to accumulate wealth. So maybe we would like to seek your advice and say, what did the Buddha actually teach us for the various wealth generation methodologies that is permissible and which is not permissible?
I think that is common sense. Now, in Buddhism, we see a lot of suttas and stories where Buddha talks about investment, which is a very interesting topic in today's world. You can't save money and look for the interest like in olden days, right? So, plus issues, say for instance, global economical issues, changes, and then other monetary issues can, impede those kind of money. So if you look at a lot of suttas, lay people suttas, where Buddha talks about money, he has talked about how to earn money. Number one is how to earn money ethically. That's number one. And then how to categorize money into different areas in life. That is the second area. And then how not to cling to the money. That's the third area. And how can someone use money to become a better person and finally make it to the Nibbana. But unfortunately, those people, they cut everything and they only take the enlightenment part at the end. So they think that what is the facility, what is the help from money to the enlightenment? You just go to a forest, you just go to a room, maybe a monastery, you meditate, you attain Nibbana, right? So they have stripped out that part and then they, rush to that place. So in our sutta studies, especially here and other places, I mainly emphasize is suttas which talk about a very successful lay life. So in my understanding, you may be reborn as a poor person, but you can't die as a poor person if you are a Buddhist. Okay? You may be reborn here, you were reborn as a poor person because of past karma. But when you learn Buddhism, you can't die as a poor person. I mean, someone who is barely meet your ends. Because Buddhism always talks about how to become a successful person. Money is a part of that. Wealth is a part of that. Say, for instance, Chulla Setti Jataka story. Chulla Setti Jataka story. Now, this Jataka story is an interesting Jataka story about wealth management. Now, there was somebody who was going in a cart, I think it's a bodhisattva, and then he saw a certain rat body, a dead rat. So then he said something, if somebody can wisely use this dead rat body, he will become the richest man in this city at that time. So somebody overheard this thing. He had no idea what to do with the dead rat. So he thought, okay, I will try out. Maybe this is a wise man. Whatever he says should be working. It just came out. So he grabbed that dead rat and he went somewhere into the bazaar area, market. He saw one man was looking for some food for his cat. And he bumped into him. He said, I'm looking for some food for my cat. Yeah, here. There is a rat. And then he made a small business with that man. And then after that, he got a little bit of money, not the exact money for that particular thing. And then he made some money, interest. With that money, he brought some other things. And finally, he made his way to buy some cows. And finally, he was this way going up, one by one. He became the richest man in the city. So this is a very encouraging story. Not even that. If you see many other places, like the people who the Buddha associated, so they were all those successful people. So this is something that we have to understand. Number one, as I said, ethical money. How to make ethical money? Now, young people, while they are very interested about making money, something that they can cut the corners and then make some different ways to make some different money. So, but the Buddha said, we have to make an ethical living. That is very important. How to make ethical money? Even when it comes to dana, Sangika dana, Buddha said that. One of the requirements of offering Sangika dana is making the dana with good money. How did the Buddha say? Dhammena laddang. The money must have been received through Dhamma. What is Dhamma? Couple of things. One is, you can't earn money by scamming other people. Kuhana. That's number one. There are people who are actually, many people are doing that. In today's nice subject called marketing, marketing is important, but sometimes when people are doing marketing, they don't know where to stop. So scamming is very bad. Never become hypocritic in making money. Don't scam. Don't cheat people. Number one. Then lapana means by talking. Sometimes there are good people who know how to talk to others and to sell the product, right? Maybe talking in a way to, you see those people in a mall as well. You're going through and people are bumping onto you. Hey, buy this, contribute to this. They may be good people. right? So, lapana, you can't talk to people using speech just to, maybe you have a bad intention, but you are using your speech to make that. Lapana. Then, nemitti kata means don't create certain, what you call, certain ideas to make money in a bad way. Because there was a story about that. There was one monk who went for Pindapata, and then the lady in the house didn't want to offer dana that day. And then the monk did not move from that place. And then now she understood that now he really needs some food. So she said, I will go to my friend's house, I will find some food. During that time, he went inside the kitchen, the monk. And then he just took a look at all the things in the kitchen hanging and, placing. Then the lady came up again and said, I'm so sorry, my friend also doesn't have anything to offer. Then the monk said, I knew that. Then she asked, how did you know it? Because when I was leaving the temple, I saw a very long cobra like the sugar cane hanging in your kitchen. And then I was startled by looking at this long cobra. Then I grabbed a certain rock, in the ground. That rock is like the jaggery in your kitchen. And when the snake saw that I'm grabbing a rock, he became furious, and I saw his teeth. Those teeth are like the rice in your kitchen, in the pantry. And at that time, I saw something discharging from his mouth, the stuff that was discharging, like the ghee, G-H-E-E, ghee, in your kitchen. And then she understood, I can't
Can't hide anymore.
yes, cheat this monk. Then she went inside and prepared the food. But that was not nice. The way he handled that Pindapata was not nice. You push people to give dana. Monks, in that example, cannot push people. You have to be generous. Otherwise, this Buddha Sasana cannot run. Right? We can't push people like that. Right? Even a Buddhist center cannot push people. Donate, donate, donate. Right? We have to go beyond that. Maybe do a very interesting service and then let them donate. Otherwise, money should not be our only topic in any center, in any conversation. So Buddha said, never use certain objects so that people are embarrassed, so that that person is pushed to give something to you. This is also a bad way of, unethical way of money. And also Buddha talks about certain jobs, if somebody can consider, they can avoid in the first place. But if you already landed on those jobs, then you may take some time to understand it. One job is human trafficking, right? Human smuggling, trafficking. This is not a good one to engage. And then also weapon industry, right? So what the Buddha is asking is try to feel good about what you earn at the end of the day. But then the problem is that some people might say, we cannot earn a large chunk of money with those ethical jobs, right? We want to earn a lot of money, probably gamble, probably do some black something as a side business. Yeah, actually, if you really know how to make money ethically, you can make that money. There are so many such good people, even today's world. But they are not coming to the stage to say that this is how we did that, right? So, ethical part is number one. I think we can discuss slowly the rest of the things. So
This is the
ethical
right
part.
livelihood.
Yeah, samma
right
ajiva,
livelihoods.
right living, yeah.
But I think when doing businesses, especially in accumulation of wealth, we have to make ourselves entrepreneur. As a salaried owner or salaried pursuer, you find that to accumulate wealth will be much more slower. But in order to be an entrepreneur, you have to actually go out to try and win the confidence of others. But do you think that our practice of the 5 precepts will make us successful businessmen in a sense because of integrity, because of confidence, because of belief and trustworthiness? So what is your opinion on that?
Of course, 5 precepts can be the real base for a successful person. But if you don't understand 5 precepts, you might think 5 precepts are holding you back. Say, for instance, lying part, musavada veramani. This is something where people really mess up. They think that they have to lie to, feel good with their peers and all that. But if you really understand how to become smart in your speech, and you can avoid those issues. So 5 precepts will make you a very integral person in your personal ethics and your work ethics. Yeah.
Because I think in work environments, trustworthiness is actually a very important factor. Because if a person believes in you, then he will buy from you. He will invest in you. He will then, of course, willing to part with money in order to support your ventures. But if there is no worthiness in that particular person, especially 5 precepts, I think 5 precepts is actually one of the best way to develop us. And I think what Bhante was trying to say was on the right livelihood.
Yeah, that was the first thing I just discussed.
Where you are not supposed to involve in slavery and weapons,
yeah,
poisons.
maybe in today's world, there are some issues. Say, for instance, meat industry. Now, how many Buddhists are working in the meat industry, in the butcher shop, in grocery shops, probably running farms, right? Yeah, right. So they probably have landed on these jobs. So they may have to think about how to do these jobs in a more ethical way, right? And because the industry has become evolved. Now at that time, these industries were deputized by many people. Somebody was taking care of the cows, and then, maybe somebody else might be bringing them to somewhere. Now things have been automated. So how do we look at the complexity of the jobs in one particular industry at this point? Especially meat industry. And poison industry, how to look at it? Now, industrial, market is, farming is there. That means all these grocery shops, they need to have the food and everything in the shelf by next morning. So then, farmers have to add a lot of fertilizers. They can't let these things happen naturally, right? So fertilizer has poison, insecticides, pesticides, but how to look at it? Right? So we are looking at it in a larger, broader perspective. If somebody can use organic thing, that is nice. But to create organic fertilizer, it takes a lot of time, right? It takes many, many years. This is one issue Sri Lanka collapsed, Sri Lankan economy. One ex-president, he asked everybody to stop bringing this industrial fertilizer in one night. And then asked everybody to use this organic fertilizer. And the whole harvest, everything fell down. Economy was bankrupt at that point. So that means we have to go with the global challenges, trends. It might be a challenge. So at
pragmatic,
that point,
in a sense, become pragmatic about it.
Yes. At the same time, now how does someone who has a fertilizer business look at the poison industry? Right? That is something to think about. How does someone who is in the pest control look at this issue? Right? Pest control. Right? So I think all these are supposed to be looked at from a wider, bigger sense. Not that, there is killing, you can't do that, panatipata. And this and that. We are not asking to kill anybody. But with the changes that are happening in the world, you have to understand the bigger picture, larger picture, not the small, XYZ all the time and get stuck like those people. A Buddhist cannot own a Mercedes, things like that, right? So I think these things have to be looked at from a wider angle, especially from the practical sense. Now say for instance, you can't charge for the Dhamma talks, right? Actually, if you charge, it should cost $1 million because Dhamma is priceless, right? That is what we understand. Dhamma is priceless. Because Dhamma dhanang, sabba dhanang, jinati. Giving Dhamma excels all the other small food dana. Right? But why the monasteries, centers ask donations? Because there is an ancillary cost, air condition cost. That is for that cost, right? Right? Even for Dhamma books, let's say somebody is publishing them. So I think we have to look at that practical sense first. lot of people who look at this renunciation, they don't look at the practical sense. I tell you one very interesting story, something that I was involved. When I went to one city in Canada a long time ago, one very educated man, he told me, Bhante, I'm very simple now. I asked, okay. I said, very good. And he started explaining his simplicity. He said, earlier my house had cable TV, a lot of channels with the packages. So I went to the lease package now. I only have Canadian CBC news channel in that city, Edmonton, and then National Geographic. So what do you think, Bhante? I'm simple, right? I said, it's harder to say that you are simple. It's not that you are downsizing. If you cannot afford, go for it. You cost cut it. But it's not simplicity. It's not that you are lowering the number of channels, that you are becoming a simple person. It's having all these channels and you are not clinging to those channels makes you the simple person. In the same way, money is the same. Now say, for instance, there are 4 people, A, B, C, D people. Not everybody can make a lot of money. Not everybody can be good entrepreneurs. Why? Their caliber, their good karma, and their energy part, and their, what you call, their presentation, their PR skills, right? So what about the poorest person in that example thinks that money is not something interesting, so everybody has to be poor. That is a problem, because then that person is trying to create a very negative picture in that story. So what, as Buddhist speakers, we are doing is that we are asking that person to look at suttas where Buddha talks about how to improve your wealth ethically. Then you will understand you can become somebody who even can afford your living, your basic needs. And when you have money, you can take care of a lot of relatives. Now, in many families, what is the problem? When somebody passes away, who is going to spend money for the mother's funeral? Just imagine. And siblings they are fighting each other. I don't want to spend money. I'm super broke. You guys spend the money. It's a money problem, right? When it comes to relatives, why many relatives having issues among their circles? Money problems, right? They don't want to spend money, enough money. And in some marriages also, this is the same thing. Wife doesn't care the man, husband. Husband doesn't care the wife. Money issues, right? So that means rather we saying money is evil, we have to look at what the Buddha said. Let's deal with the money ethically. And you are not supposed to become a poor person anymore. Because when you learn Buddhism, you will become a smart Buddhist rather than a hard-working Buddhist, and you will improve your working, exactly the career. What career am I going to select? This is another problem in the young generation in today's world. Do I want to become an engineer? Do I want to become a lawyer? And then the more selection is coming from which job will give me more money, right? I think they all are connected to this path. So I think we have to give a good idea, a healthy idea about wealth. I think Buddha talks about not money, wealth. He talks about wealth, and he has 7 spiritual wealths before we talk about normal money. He said, trust is a wealth. Sila, good discipline, is a wealth. Then being able to be generous is a wealth. Wide learning is a wealth, right? And then there are seven types of spiritual wealth. So that means we have to create material wealth and spiritual wealth simultaneously, and to become, especially for you to become a successful layperson in your life. I think if we give this picture to the younger generation, not saying all the time anicca, dukkha, anatta, everything is impermanent, so that there is suffering and there is no person, then how are we going to promote this Buddhism, right? So they are always talking about, we don't even exist. Then who is making money, right?
The Dhamma is about suffering all the time.
Yes. So I think that is a higher part of Buddhism. It's not wrong. There are certain things like that. But that is the higher part of Buddhism. Why are we introducing that higher part of Buddhism to all these people? I don't think it should.
Well, I think that brings me to a question about right livelihood, that we do have people who earn the living not through right livelihood. Maybe you say a butcher. And then should we condemn a butcher in the sense that since he has earned it wrongly, or a person who has cheated, or a person who has swindled, or a person who has scammed, and became so successful in that sense, and become so rich, and then he starts coming back to Buddhist Mahavihara and says, I would like to donate a big sum of money. Then we say, no, you are involved in a very, a serious breach of moralities. I'm not going to accept your money. And you are not allowed to donate anymore. And you cannot do merits. Is that our attitude, or should we open up our minds, and what did the Buddha actually advise us?
I think here there is something that, don't get me wrong, something we have to really be concerned. Think about Ambapali. Who is Ambapali? The
courtesan.
Yeah, courtesan in today's world, escort in today's world. And then when Ambapali came to see the Buddha asked him monks to be mindful. Right? To be mindful, because she is the most beautiful person in that city at that time. At the same time, when Ambapali came, Ambapali wanted to offer her mango garden, very big area, which she bought using that money. What did the Buddha say? The Buddha said, no, he accepted. And then he closely worked with her, and then she also became an arahant at the end. So I think in this butcher's case, we have to look at the butcher's intention. Now we only look at that part. Somebody is killing. Now, don't go to the butcher. Go to a scientific lab where the cockroaches, rats are killed. All these scientists.
For research.
More research. Yeah.
Whereas the butcher is actually trying to earn a living in order to support his family.
Family?
But because of our righteousness, we say, it's committed a wrong livelihood.
Yeah, probably.
Therefore, we should not accept money from him.
Yeah, probably it could be a habitual killing. It's not nice. It shouldn't happen, but it has been happening. It's like in Thailand. If you go to Thailand, in the morning, all the monks are going from Pindapata, and here there are ladies and men who are, preparing Pindapata, and then they are killing their animals to sell. And when the monk comes, they go and drop the food inside. They again start killing all these animals, right? Those those small things, right? So the thing is that intention, because the intention has to be understood. We don't know what was Ambapali's intention. Maybe she was not really into that. Maybe she wanted to make a living out of it. So we don't know the intention. But the Buddha says, if you can avoid it, it's better. But what if that you don't have any choices? What to do? Where to go? This could be a problem. So Buddha, go back to the lab again. All these educated, smart kids go there and they, dissect all these animals, right? So do they have this intention? We're going to kill a cockroach now. See how I'm going to kill the cockroach. They should have some ethics in the lab. Maybe they are trying to go for a new, innovative, maybe finding for that, right? But if you are too much thinking about this experience, you may not do it. So perhaps rats and all these tiny animals will become guinea pigs, and the ripple effect can be saving millions of life. What about a soldier, then again? Maybe a police officer. I think the intention part is very important, not just the activity itself. We only look at person's action sometimes, most of the time. Looking at somebody's very calm, quiet character, this must be a very good person. But we don't know what's happening inside. Maybe they are good people, right? And maybe there is someone who seems to be very bad, but when we get to know that person, very good person, I think people have demonized that person, but we don't know. So I think intention, the Buddha said karma is not the physical activity itself, it is intention, chetana part. So better if you are a Buddhist, if you can avoid, But if you cannot avoid, how are you going to survive? So you decide. Not that I say to do it, you decide how to do it.
Yeah, because I think it has always been in the whispers of the community to look at some donors who comes in and say, hey, that person is actually not a good person, but he's actually appearing in the temple, and then start to give and donate. But then the question is, if you don't give him that opportunity, he will never sort of recover. And even like a butcher, if a butcher were to slaughter pigs or slaughter animals for a living, but then if you do not allow them to be associated with the wise and contribute towards a good, what you call intention, then at the end of the day, he will not learn compassion, he will not learn about gratitude, he will not learn about what you call patience and tolerance and so on. But hopefully one fine day, this butcher will then, after learning all the compassion, then by himself, then he says that I should not kill anymore for a living or to create wealth out of this kind of ventures. Then he switch on to a much more better trade.
Yeah,
and
it can be.
We actually transform a person's life. So
Rehabilitation.
unfortunately, this is where a lot of people call it wealth is evil. And they relate wealth is evil to this kind of situation where it creates greed, it creates a lot of wrongdoings as a result of pursuing their wealth. But then we must give opportunity for these people to repent. The Buddha never condemned anybody, isn't it?
No, Buddha welcome everybody. And at the same time, a lot of people pick up one small darker side and then try to paint everybody with that same brush. So we have to understand. So once again, we go back to our main area. So ethical money, that is number one. But if the money is not ethical on the surface, we have to look at the intention of that person, what is happening over there. Number two is, the Buddha talks about energy, never become lazy. But in today's world, laziness has to be understood from some smart working. Things have been smart, in our life at this point. I mean, how we are going to make things at this point. A lot of people work online at this point, right? So then, how are they going to make money? So how are they going to look at money? So these things are very important too. So Buddha said, try to keep your energy going on. Don't become lazy. Once you become lazy, you may choose again to become, unethical to make money. On the other side, when you make money, wealth, then you should know that how to divide money into the overall success of your life. He said, you can consider a certain framework, which is not ideal at this point, but you can think about. This framework has 4 areas. One, let's say you make $10,000, ideal case. And then one section, maybe you are creating 4 sections out of this 10,000. 2,500 will be used for your personal use. That means you, your family, and whatever your things. 5,000, 2 sections must be used for investment. And the last 2,500 is to be used for emergency. Now you might not be able to implement this exactly as it is, because you may have loans, you may have other things, but understand the bigger picture. The Buddha said, don't spend more for your personal use than the investment. That is a Buddhist idea. So those people who think that someone cannot own that kind of a car, that kind of a business, you think that they have read these teachings? I don't think. Maybe they have gone to one monk's talk, where the monk talk about how he left his business and became a monk, and then how he started not looking at the money. This kind of teaching. So that's why we have to promote lay Buddhism, monastic Buddhism separately, and giving the choice to people, you decide what you want after some time. But never demonize money. You can't demonize money.
I think in the accumulation of wealth, a lot of people say that, sometimes it leads to a lot of unhappiness rather than happiness, because you get yourself involved in too much commitments and too much things to care for. And I think at one point in time, some monks, they mentioned this, that when you have a lot of keys in your pocket, your mind is never at rest. You know, and therefore that's why shouldn't accumulate too much wealth. But then what is the limit of
Let me tell
attaining
you,
wealth? Should you continue and continue? Because put it this way, money is not enough. Wealth is actually part and parcel of the character of greed. The more wealth you get, the more wealth you want. 1 million, this 2 million, 2 million will lead to 4 million, and then there will be no limit. Is there a limit which...
Let me answer you. It's not the money problem. It's the problem
It's the
with
attachment.
handling the money.
It's the
It's
clinging.
now the person who was bringing that up saying, it is because I accumulated lots of money, I am into this problem. It's like that someone who has a diabetic problem is asked by the family members, you don't eat chocolate, but then somehow somebody places a chocolate on the table and then this person going to consume the chocolate. Others are shouting, how come you? Because you guys place it on the table. I ate it. What's the problem? Right? So it's not the money problem. Now let's understand this. It's the problem with how to deal with it.
The
Now,
mental attitudes.
mental attitude. We cannot implement a certain threshold for the money because, say for instance, you may be a very rich person. Then your needs, the way how you invest in those needs, could be different than somebody else. So you need that money, right? That's why in the flight there are different classes, same flight, but some people have lots of money. They want to go happily, right? So same people are going. So we have to understand the problem is not with the money. When someone is becoming as such, that person may have different types of needs to fulfill. You know, when somebody's become very rich, everybody else in the family looking for some grace from that person. It's like you going for a faraway trip and everybody in your family expecting things from you, right? You should give something to us. Where is my chocolate, right?
They always say that the rich people are very scared of relatives. Because the moment you see a relative knocking on the door, he's coming in to take some of my wealth away. So
No, I'm not trying to talk about rich people. I'm trying to say those people who have money, who have understood themselves as rich or not. I'm saying the idea that when you have lots of money, you have your own purpose. Somebody who might not have that much money might think that, why are you making this much money? You don't need. Because see, I go to the hawker shop, I eat. Why you go to this fine dining? For what? But that person has a different purpose to go to the fine dining. Maybe he's meeting his own clients in his business, right? The one who is going there might not know. At the same time, a rich person might also go to the hawker shop, right? So we cannot label people just because how much money they make. Let me tell you, the Buddha said, poverty is a suffering. Dalidyam bhikkhave dukkhasmi. The Buddha said, poverty is a problem. And the Buddha said to many in the Chakkavati Sehanada Sutta, governments should subsidize and should give money to those who are in need. Buddha also asked the ideal king in Buddhism called Chakkavati, what you call universal monarch, you should give money to people who don't have that money at that point. But don't try to keep giving money so they will be poor and poor all the time. Let them become entrepreneur. Give some money so they are thinking about, to do the next time. So the idea is that, let's say you are asking me a threshold. We cannot create a threshold because when you becoming rich, you may have different types of needs. So then you want to improve that level. So the thing is that we have to understand someone who has a certain amount of money, want to live in a certain way, someone who has upper middle income, want to live in a certain way. So these are different categories. So many people who are trying to look down upon the rich people who have money, they are not the rich people. So there's a certain jealousy also coming out of it, right? So we want all these people, they have their own needs. But say for instance, 1,000 people going to a vihara, maybe 999 people are going to a vihara, but maybe the vihara was built by one rich man, by giving the land, by building up the place. All these people are going because of his support. Right? So there are cases like, Anathapindika. Anathapindika donated this Jetavanarama. Without Anathapindika, do you think Buddha could make this temple with all these people in the Pindapata level? I don't think. So let's understand how this is going to be relevant to your life. Once again, be ethical in your money earning. There is no threshold for the money. You know what you want, but let me tell you, never cling to your money. It is your own handling. You may have lots of money, properties, but you can manage them without clinging. It is how you develop your thoughts about them.
Actually,
right?
that brings me to one story about this old Punjabi man. I was in Kuantan, and every time I goes to the safe deposit box, I will always meet this Punjabi man. And he has a lot of safe deposit box inside the vault. And morning, 10 o'clock, he will be there. And he will pull out all his boxes, and he will sit on the floor, and he start counting his share certificate, his money, his jewelries. So it's like old King Cole counting his money. But when we looked at him, his clothes was tattered. And he's very frail, he's not shaven, and he has so much money.
A very good area to discuss.
Yeah. So now the question is, with all this wealth, what does it mean?
Yeah.
Is it good for him, or is it a way to actually make him, to educate him, to say, yes, you are wealthy, but if you are wealthy without a purpose in life, no use. If you are wealthy and you do not expand it on yourself, also useless. They always say in the commercial world, money is not yours until you spend it. Otherwise, it's just a number in your bank book, but it's spent by the bank. The bank is spending your money, but you can only count, but you don't enjoy it. So whether wealth with a purpose is important in this case now.
It is. Let me address two areas over here. One is the idea that a lot of people think that when you have money, you are becoming a trap to the money. What about people who don't have money? Are they not clinging to anything else in their life? Think about the example, one monk at the Buddha's time. He passed away. Now the other monks were going to cremate him. Then the Buddha stopped all these monks in cremating him. Other monks were shocked to hear that. Why are you stopping us to cremate him? He said, this monk had a clinging upadana to the robe, and then he now is coming as a moth to the robe. Right? That means the one who doesn't have anything, only having robe, also has clinging. So you don't need $1 million to have the clinging.
Attachment.
Yes, that's one thing. Second thing is, think about your example. The Buddha said there are two issues with regard to this. One is that when you have lots of money, lot of people probably, maybe most of them, get trapped in that money because they get trapped to their own money. They are going to be the victim of their own success. That is not a problem with the money. It's the problem of their not understanding how to handle it. Second is your interesting example. There are people who have lots of money and wealth, but you see them as not just low profile, but they seem like very terrible, like they look like certain animals, like some snakes, some other dogs. Like we know one example, Todeiya story. Right? Todeiya passed away. When he passed away, his son, Subba, wanted to give a dana to the father. Then he asked his dog, he got a new dog, you go to the temple, bring the Buddha. You don't do that, huh? Don't send a dog to the temple. That will be the last day that the monks will think about your dana. So the dog went to the temple. At that time, animals used to talk. Somehow they lost it after many centuries. So dog was looking at the Buddha. Buddha was talking to somebody. So when he is finished, he was now trying to show the place. Halfway of the journey, the dog turned to one wrong area, purposely. The dog doesn't like Buddha comes to his house, his master house. Then Buddha was observing what is he doing. Then again he turned to a wrong road. Third time also he turned to a wrong road. Then the Buddha said, Todeya, you did the same thing when you were a human, don't do it again. Then the dog was very sad about Buddha recognized me. He ran to the house. Then Buddha went to the house. And then Subha and his all friends and everybody now preparing the dana. During the dana time, the Buddha asked Subha to come near him and said, if you don't mind, I tell you something, don't get me wrong. He said, yeah, please tell me. He said, this dog who is there is not somebody, he's your father. He was really mad. How come my father became a dog? Because I'm giving dana to the father today. Yeah, he's him. If you really want to know, after you serve us, you give him some food and try to stroke his head and ask him, dear father, where did you bury the treasures, money? Then he will show you. Then he gave some nice treats to him, stroke his head and ask him. Then he brought him to the kitchen and then dug a certain place. And then he asked other people to dig this place. He found all the wealth. What is this story? That means when you don't understand how to use your wealth, not having wealth and don't understand how to use the wealth, then having lot of clinging, then you will become a protector of that wealth as an animal. Where is the problem? Is that the money problem or is that the problem of not understanding how to protect, how to use it? So Buddha said in other place, there are 4 types of happinesses lay people should attain. First happiness is happiness of ownership. What is this? Then the Buddha said, you can't become a person in the household, in a room. You have to go out. You need to own certain things. What can you earn? Loved ones, money, education, promotion, houses, vehicles, in ethical way. The second happiness is what you call Bhoga Sukha. First one, Atti Sukha, happiness of ownership. Second is happiness of enjoying. That those stuff you earn. Now, lot of people when it comes to Bhoga, as you said, the money is not really materialized until you get to the use. Right? What if you don't know how to use that money? You have lots of money, but you think, no, I don't want to use money. I think it's like, you are spending 8,000 ringgit for a trip, but when you go there, you don't want to spend like 300 ringgit in that city, right? Because your money doesn't get to the thinking that I should spend money here, but you spend almost 10,000 for the trip, right? You are very struggling with that understanding. So Buddha said it is the reason why there are people who donated in past life all the things they got, money and everything, but they donated with some expectations. As a bad result of that bad karma, you're getting good karma, but in a very distorted way. That means you can do a good karma not in the proper way. As a result of that, you will get the result, but you don't know how to enjoy. It's like that I always mention. You have lots of food in the fridge, but you open the door and you feel you want to eat it after it is stale and expired. Until that day, you feel like, no, I don't want to eat that one. When you open it, when your mind says, go eat it, it is stale. You have many houses, but your mind doesn't say, go and go to the nice one. You may have many cars, but you don't want to feel that you want to use the good one. Why? Because you have given with that expectation. There's a Pali term called Ularesu Panchasukama Gunesu Chittana Namati. So it is a double blessing. First one is a good karma you done. Second is how to do that good karma. When you do the 2 good karma, it's going to be a double good karma. That means you're getting and you feel you want to enjoy. That is another good karma. Some people get it, but they don't get to enjoy it. So then finally what happens? Banks are more blessed than you. Government is more blessed than you. Right? And also in many other suttas like Pattakama Sutta, Buddha says, don't let money go to people who you don't like when you pass away. What does this mean? Write a will. Write a will before you pass away. The Buddha said in the Pattakama Sutta, I think we studied that in this Mandi Sutta discussion. Because sometimes you feel you are dying, but your money and everything, they go to a wrong person that you don't like. So you have to write a will with some terms and conditions, so you know what's happening. So the Pattakama Sutta is also a very interesting sutta. So second is Bhoga Sukha, happiness of enjoyment. Third is, we call it Ananda Sukha, happiness of not having debt, D-E-B-T, debtlessness. But in today's world, you can't, go very debtless, because you have to have some credit, owning a credit card.
Loans.
Let's say, for instance, credit card is a very good example. Now we cannot nowadays use cash in many places, in many businesses. They say we have become cashless. There are issues. Somebody has to look at the cash registry at the end of the day, and some, some attacks from criminals, right? And it's work, right? And at a time we can go for automation. So then you have to use digital money, not gold and coin, not paper money. Now money has become digital. So then you have to use a credit card. There is someone who is using credit card more than his income. So where is the problem? Is the credit card evil? Is the person who is using the credit card evil? Tell me. Huh? That is the same example I want to bring to this money thing, the ones who have lots of money. There's somebody who is going to go for a mortgage and having a down payment, and the amortization goes for 30 years. But this person is making a bad choice and he is losing the job. Now bank is going to take the property back to the bank. Who is wrong? Is the mortgage wrong? Is the person's way of earning money and spending money wrong? Evil. This is the place which we have to highlight about money, wealth in Buddhism. To the people out there, teenagers, adults, they will feel welcome with this true understanding.
I think a lot of rich people or wealthy people, they became rich because of a circle of good friends, supporters, and people who are their benefactors. So did the Buddha, what you call, encouraged the devotees to actually go ahead and make sure that the friends that they befriended is one who actually helped them to grow money rather than to squander off their money. So what did the Buddha advise?
See the pole opposite side. Every morning you getting 1 or 2 calls. I don't have money. Can you give me some money? I'm super broke today. I cannot go to the shop. You getting this call every day. So you misunderstand Buddhism. You think I had to be kind. Yes, need to give money. But what if you getting this call for a couple of months every morning? What is happening to your good vibes in the morning? You hear this negativity all the time. Somebody's negativity, and you think you have to be the victim of your kindness. What about something like you are helping other people? Yes, we are supposed to be very kind, supposed to help out other people. But you are creating a very cooperative circle. Actually, just because we want to be rich, we don't need to associate rich people. You are with somebody who you think that very entrepreneurial, who is a very smart working, very positive person. I know one day this person will be a very rich person. In the same way, don't marry a rich person. Marry a person who can be rich one day. This is the new narrative in today's world. We're talking to teenagers and young people. Because what if the rich person loses the money right away? Where are you going then after that? Right? So there are ways to look at it. Right? So that is the pole opposite. So I think definitely we have to be surrounded with the people who have this stamina, courage, positivity, inspiration. Those people are really making successful not only money, everything. So that Kalyana Mitra friendship is important. What if that you are all every day getting together with people who always have negativity, no money, being jealous with people who have even some money, hating the rich people, hating everybody. hating the country people, hating politicians every day, where are you going? You will become one of them one day.
So it's
I say,
true,
for instance,
actually.
I heard in one example, one family had a son, and son was such a good son to the mother, but then son had to get a new job in a company where he has to take the role. What is that role called? Complain. How do you call that person? He's the one who is customer service. So he's the one who is getting all these complaints. So with all these aunties, uncles, and other people, he was very bombarded with all the complaints. So after 1 year, he has no positive attitude, hates mother, hates father. Because of the job that he was in with the complaint, it went to his perspective. So is it the problem with the job? Is it the problem how he handled his job? Tell me. He did not separate job from his personal life. He thought personal life is also the job. Job is my personal life. So we have to separate that. So definitely, being surrounded with Kalyana Mittas, those who thrive, you feel that they are very positive people. You talk to them 1 minute, you feel very inspired. That's why a lot of people sometimes they watch, what are those talks called? TED Talks. Why? You watch it, you feel very inspired. But you watch some of the Dhamma talks, 5 Dhamma, you feel like life is so terrible. They always talk about suffering, suffering, suffering. And then I have to run away, Don't look at that, this thing, Yes.
I think
What is the
that's
problem?
the reason
It is the problem of the Buddha or Dhamma talk? No, the person who is giving the Dhamma talk is thinking that way. Not the Buddhism problem.
That's why you find a lot of our young people, they tend to shy away now, because Buddhism does not offer them that kind of positivity in looking ahead in developing themselves, because they are looking for self-improvement, self-success. So we need to go into this area in order to encourage.
Definitely.
Now come to a point where I would like to ask this question that, sometimes when a person aims to be rich, aims to accumulate wealth, but they says, okay, I will try to be a millionaire when I'm 40 years old. But when he touches 40th birthday, he's not a millionaire, but he's half a millionaire. So what attitude should he think, whether it's half a million good enough?
Yeah.
Or whether he should commit suicide because he only got half a million instead of 1 million.
Yeah, there are 2 things to be considered over there. One is that don't make unrealistic goals in your life. Say, for instance, you are such an obese fat person by 2025 on January 1st. You think that by May or by June you are going to slim down, but it is impossible. And you are so much worried about this weight problem. And you look at yourself from the mirror, other people comment on you, and you feel very bad about your body image awareness. So let's say this is a 1-year plan, maybe 2-year plan. Break it down to certain parts. So I think if this person thinks that by 40 I can be a millionaire, then she should have a correct, realistic plan for it. Let's say he's making half of that thing. Is it good? So believing in what you have, looking at the positivity.
It's the same question as looking at a half bottle of water, whether it's half full or half empty, and that determines between negativities and positivities. And I think the Buddha's advisors, are quite a number of them, did says that you must be contented depending on your capacity. If your capacity is only 500,000, then accept it. And if you can accept that 500,000 capacity, you are perfectly happy with that achievement. But unfortunately, some are not trained or are not advised accordingly. So I think it's a good way for our Buddhist community to direct and encourage our people to go ahead, try your best, and try to achieve. But if you can't, then if that's the best you could do, the best you could achieve, well, be contented. So contentment and simplicity. These 2 qualities, whether you have any comments on this?
Yeah, they are to be achieved not by becoming poor. I think being satisfied is the minimal version. Being content is the fuller version of our life. Those 2 qualities cannot be attained being penniless. having no money, because when you have certain maybe money, whatever, that is the way you are going to make it. So I think in not less than 10 years, we have to make courses in temples, how to become a rich person, how to become an entrepreneur. Nowadays they are having courses, how to become a good leader, right? We will have to make it to attract young people. Then they will come and see, what are these people talking? I heard 5, 6 Dhamma talks. They say, no money, just get rid of all these things. But these guys are talking something interesting. I have to get in, be a part of this course.
Yeah, true.
So I think we will have to go to that point.
Mm-hmm.
So contentment, satisfaction should be achieved not by rejecting what's happening with these conditions, by understanding what's happening, and then to improve our life, whatever the life we are having, on top of that. I think we almost come to 1 hour. Yes.
I think my last
Yes.
question was, there was this book which talks about the monk who rode a Ferrari.
Robin
Sharma.
Robin Sharma, long time ago, yeah.
So that means to say, monks are very good candidates to gain wealth. Probably because of the training, because of their contentment, because of the focus, and also the ability to discern between good and bad. So I believe you also fit that role. The monk who eventually will ride a Ferrari means a monk who will be successful. Do you believe in this story?
Well, I look at this way. There are two things to look at it. One thing is the problematic side. Now, like the Buddhist nun who was detained, the Malaysian nun detained by the Australian immigration border custom for money laundering. And there are a lot of issues going with monastic members in today's world about money. I understand that. That means this proper idea, management, wise ideas have to be given to them. I don't think there is a proper training with regard to handling money to monastic members in their temples, anywhere in the world. That is what, maybe Japanese system. But other places, I don't think. So what is happening is that they do their practice, suddenly they become very wealthy, they mess up finally, at the end. Right? They crash finally. So I think monastic institutions, with the support of senior Sangha members, because they are coming to a certain point where they might be with lots of money, and how to use that money for a good cause without becoming victim of that money, that has to be done. Second, I already understand there are very good organizations, even some Sangha members who are doing a very immense service to everybody. That has to be commended. A lot of humanitarian activities are being done. If you go to Taiwan, Japan, even in other countries, lots of Sangha members are not becoming the victim of their own wealth, but they are distributing all this money to others. So I think on one side we have to create some, Sangha members, not lay people, have to create some good courses, some training for them.
Yeah.
On the other side, we have to appreciate,
To shape the attitudes and the mentality.
yes, those who are really doing a good
Yeah.
humanitarian work,
Great.
compassionate work for everybody in the world.
Thank you,
Because
Bhante.
if Sangha members are getting more money, we cannot do anything. But if they think that we have to give back, that is very nice for the lay people. For those who don't have money, food, maybe orphanages, other problems, the drug people, right? I think they can do something.
Yeah.
Some are doing already. Yeah.
Okay. So I think we have some time for question and answers. Probably we have stimulated your minds, and you might want to ask some questions. Anyone?
You can pass the mic. Please raise your hand.
Any questions? How to become rich? Because this subject has been a taboo for some time, in the sense that as Buddhists, we are often than not introduced as wealth is evil. Because of wealth, that's why we get all the delusion, greed, hatred, and hence we have to actually keep ourselves simple, renounced, detached, non-clinging, and be simple as possible. But I think that analogy should not stifle the drive and the ambitions of success in life. Because by being successful and being wealthy, if it is with a purpose, then it makes wealth very meaningful. Because being wealthy and using that wealth to do something for the sasana, to try and take care of more people, the needy ones, and to help everyone else. I think then wealthy person are always the happy person, rather than the one with a lot of disturbance and stress and pressure. Yes.
Hi, Bhante. Bharat, I just want to thank you for sharing your own personal encounter around people asking questions about your car. I'm sure there's no further questions if you drive a kecil or Putong Saga. Okay, so cut the long question short. How should Buddhists see fellow Buddhists with greater wealth than myself, or greater wealth than, because a lot of time the questions that were being posed to you, Bharat Charlie, is not about just the wealth itself. It's about the context in which the person will pose the questions. Are they jealous of you? Are they envious of you? So the thing is, the pursuit of wealth sometimes is not really in our hands. Sometimes they say it's luck. Sometimes it's to do with your family background even. So things don't happen as one requires or wished, so to speak. So when things comes to a part whereby I'm seeing people around me richer, so how do you see that as Buddhists? So that, it's not your fault that you are wealthier, you could afford a Mercedes. But the thing is, when you have people who look around, and how should we take in information and inputs, around people who are better than us, so to speak, and in this case, in the context of wealth. I think as Buddhists, how do we practice as we see people are better conditioned than us, but they are also on a common ground faith-wise, they are Buddhists? That's very much a question.
I think the context of whenever we see a rich person or very wealthy person, we say, he must have done something illegal in order to become wealthy. And we do not rejoice in that success of that particular person. So, but I think in the Dhamma, we have a very important quality and virtue called upeka. Mudita, altruistic joys, rejoicing in others' success. Maybe
okay,
Bhante,
very interesting. Actually, let's take it this way. Not even for the money, people become jealous. Let's say you overheard that somebody is a Sotapanna already, and you are also with that person, same class, but how come you couldn't become a Sotapanna? I think jealousy always happens when we don't understand cause and condition. So there are two ways to look at it. Let's say different people are making money differently. We don't know exactly how they are making money, and we don't have to know. A couple of questions we don't ask: how old are you, and what is your job, how much money you make. These are very what do you call? Very sensitive. Very sensitive questions. And what's your religion, right? So the thing is that on one side we can look at it this way. Okay, definitely a good karma this person may have done. So we understand, right? Cause and condition. Second is that let's say you don't understand good karma or bad karma, but Buddha has asked us to be happy for others' success. So this is the second thing. Third, very important thing is that you have to go on your own way for that success. If you are not going really well, that is the time you are very concerned about how other people make more money. Say, for instance, recently I had a certain encounter with somebody in an interview, said that two of this person's friends were talking about a very nice hiking trip. They were talking how they went up and then the nice everything. And this person got jealous all of a sudden. How come they are happier without me? Right? How come they are happy without me? And then the person asked me, I think it's a bad thing, how to overcome. I said, you create your own happiness. Then you don't care about what other people are doing. Is it a Bentley or Rolls Royce or Mercedes? You understand and you don't have a specific disturbance about it. Otherwise, you always look at if somebody has something more, maybe not even money, even beauty. Say for instance, the beauty. How come that person is more beautiful than me? Right? Can you go to South Korea and do a plastic surgery in one night for this? Huh? Become that ideal person. You don't need to. And the surgery might go wrong too sometimes. So you're going to even lose your present beauty at that point. So I think we should not be disturbed if we are having our own way to achieve our happiness. I think everybody should, what the Buddha said, every person should be concerned of the ways and means of how that person is going to make income, ethically and creatively. When you are creative, more opportunities are coming to you. When you are thinking in one way, only certain salaries are coming to you. That's why in North America, you understand, they don't get salary, many jobs. But they get hourly rate. They get paid as hour. So if you work more hours, you get more money. Salary only this much money, you must work. Right? The employers are getting all the work of you. But hourly rate. So that means people don't want to work for a salary. They want to work for hours. Let's say you want to work for 15 hours today. So they are working 15 hours today. Some months they are saying, next month I think I'm having a big challenge to meet up something. So next month I'm going to work 16 hours for 4 weeks. So he or she is going to meet up that money. But if you are having salary, no, that's 4,000 means 4,000. 5,000 means 5,000. Right? So that means that is a certain country standard. What I'm saying is that you need to be creative while having mudita. Don't wait, some other good karmas are coming to you. Lately, somebody told me, can you wish me I get more money? Alright? Okay, very interesting. I think this is what many monks are doing. If you go to the vihara, they are like blessing you with water and splashing you with nice splash of water, everything. So how come you are not that much enough in this money? I said,
not enough splashing.
I said, I want to know further about what you really expect with this thing. And then this person opened up. You know what is the problem? This person had worked for certain companies, and there are money that this person should get from those people. Now it's been 1 year and a half, those people are not paying back. But the other people who this person connected, they are directly paid every month. Then I said, you are now talking about your own money, but you are not still getting. Why don't you become very creative, maybe in writing to these people and then creating some smart connections to them again and make money. Don't just go to a vihara and expect, may that money come to me in other ways. These people are very busybodies with money, right? So that means we have to be creative in not even earning money, even to get the money that we deserve to get, right? Sometimes that money is ours, but we don't know how to get that money. It's like you have 3 houses, 2 should be rented out, but you don't know how to rent out. You are suffering. How to find a good rentee? All these are very bad people. They're going to destroy my house. That means you have to be creative. You have to have a space to understand. You know, one of the biggest problems in business is the capital. People don't like to spend the capital to make the business. You have to spend some money. Give a good service. Then only you see how people are coming. People don't trust about the capital. No, I will lose money. But you will lose the money to the scammers. But this creative thinking is a part of it. And the other thing is that I think in this discussion, I think we are sort of not clarifying something here. We were only talking about poor people and rich people. I think we have to go beyond these two. That means we are not saying you must be rich like a tycoon. What we are saying is that having some money is important in your life. You may be a middle income, you may be upper middle income, but regardless of your money status, becoming poor is a problem. But having access to some money, having a job, having some enough money is what we are talking. In that experience, depending on your innovation, your creativity, you will become a very rich person, right? Yeah. That's how we look at it. So there are 3 ways. Good karma, we respect their good karma. So it makes sense. Even the monk gave a Dhamma talk about money can be gotten by good karma. So yes, that's why he got the money. So his problem solved. Second is that, okay, if I cannot understand that, I think I have a problem with my mudita, appreciative joy, right? Okay, let me develop that thing. Third thing is that while those two things are things to be understood, I have to create my own financial plans. Some people are not becoming ready for their money in the next 5-6 years. They're waiting things to happen. You have to create plans now. Now, another big problem with the money is retirement. Especially in these countries. When you are retired, I don't think government will pay you that much money. So, and then the medical bills, right? So you need money. Who is going to pay for your medical bills? Who is going to pay for your retirement, right? That means you have to plan ahead before the retirement, before the sickness comes. Don't blame other people. That is Buddhism.
I think there is a description by Master Xing Yin about wealth. And you are considered wealthy only when you have more than what you need for your desired lifestyle. Of course, the desired lifestyle depends. Different people have different desired lifestyle. But the moment you earn enough for that desired lifestyle and still have spare, then you are said to be wealthy. And when you are having that spare, then you must make use of that spare for a purpose. Not only to take care of yourself, but to take care of many other things like charity, dana, And with that purpose, then makes the wealth very meaningful. Then you become a very happy, wealthy man, rather than just a wealthy man. So any other questions? We still got about a few minutes. Any questions?
Perhaps you can take 2 more questions and then we will wrap this up because of the timing.
Yeah.
If you have, otherwise. Yeah.
Any questions?
Yeah, please.
Yes.
Good evening, Bhante, Datuk. This question, my question is, nowadays there's a lot of people pray to this goddess or god of wealth. And also they certain chant, they ask them to chant on the mantra so they can get more money. So just what's your view, Bhante? Is this superstitious or just a bluff? Or Thanks.
Well, I think we cannot say it is superstitious. Say, for instance, now someone, a student is going for the exam, right? Let's say there is a teenager who is sitting for the IB exam, probably, International Barracuda. Now, the father telling her or him, let's go to the vihara, get the exam blessings, right? Suppose the student does not get ready for the exam, nothing. The monks will bless me, so something will automatically happen to me while I'm writing the exam. So will he or she be able to pass the exam? No. That means he or she should have covered the syllabus, everything, maybe mock exams, everything. Then go to the vihara, get some sort of inspiration, motivation from this blessing. In the same way, I look at it this way. If you are doing nothing and then chanting that particular mantra or the sutra, that might not work. But let's say you are creative, because when you are earning money, a lot of problems are coming to you. Jealousy people are coming to you, some people are trying to, I would say, make problems to you in the company. So then how to survive in those attacks? You should have a positive mindset. Chanting is a good one. Whatever chanting, Sanskrit, Chinese, Pali, whatever chanting is necessary to calm you down, because you are on that particular activity. But that, I don't think money will come because of the chanting at that point. Money will come because of your effort. But chanting helps you to navigate, manage that money in the proper way. You get some blessings at that point. But that money part is coming through your engagement, proper engagement with that activity.
Yeah.
But we cannot condemn. It's good because people feel calm, chanting is a good thing. Yeah.
I think that brings me to one particular theory. And this theory is especially in the Chinese context. And they call it 天才地才人才. 天才呢, like as I think Buddhists would explain it as your karma, that you have accumulated a lot of good deeds in your past, and the good seeds are sown, and you are waiting to, what do you call, the ripe fruits to germinate out. 地才呢 is earth luck, no, heaven luck, earth luck, human luck. So earth luck is conditions, that you meet the right people, you meet the right timing, you meet the right environment, or the right nutrients, or the right temperature, you know, then the seed which was sown will then find it suitable to germinate. 人才呢 is the human effort. The human effort means, did you do something about it? You know you have good luck, you know the conditions are right, but have you done something about it? That brings me to the analogy of this person who went to see a fortune teller. And the fortune teller tells him, oh, when you are 40 years old, the sky is going to open. And gold is going to fall down from the sky, all meant for you. True enough, on his 40th birthday, he was watching the sky. And really the sky opened. And really gold fell down and landed in front of his house. The timing was right. All the gold that was his past karma is now ripened. But he looked at the gold and says, if all this gold is meant for me, it will walk itself into my house. So as the passerby passed by, they saw the gold on the public road, then they said, oh, there's gold on the public, and so it's mine. They take. And this guy is still waiting there. Come in lah. Nothing happened. So I think it's like what Bhante said correctly, you know, that we may have the, what you call the good fortune of it. We may have good karmas, and we want to invoke that karma, but ask yourself whether you have kicked your butts in order to move into that direction. If not, then we will never succeed. It's the same thing like the student, you know, if he doesn't study, how can he score? If it's only when he studies, he scores. So most of the time, like what you said correctly, it's specifying the mind. And when the mind is at peace, I think these are conditions for good karmic seeds to arise. So this is the typical Chinese way of luck. Every day we talk about luck. Chinese New Year is everything about luck. That's why we wake up very early in the morning to wait for the god of luck to come down. And that's exactly the same question that. Last question?
That reminds me, in a Chinese restaurant in Ottawa nearby our temple, one Chinese person went to the restaurant. You know that biscuit where they write things inside?
The fortune cookies. Fortune cookies.
So after the meal, he got this biscuit, and he said, today you'll be meeting an accident. So he was thinking about this. He met with an accident. Finally, he sued the restaurant. Because of you guys, fortune cookie, I met with an accident. So because you are visualizing accident, where is it? And finally it came to you.
Because of that, negative mind attracts negative events.
Negative events, yes.
Okay, last question.
Last question, and then we will wrap this up. Yeah.
Anyone? This is a golden question. Bring a lot of luck, man. Okay. If there's none, then I think we pass it back, Bhante, to
Transference of
Leslie.
First?
Yeah, we do it.
Okay. All right. So thank you, Datuk Chia, for coming here and then interviewing me, discussing, and thank you everyone for coming here and then learning about. This is a little bit high-end topic. Money, wealth, and jobs, and I hope that we nail down the point that there is a misconception that money has to be understood not from money perspective, but how we are going to deal with it. That is the emphasis that we have to create. So may all the good karmas we've been making today be transferred to all the departed ones who passed away in the name of all of us. May they be well and happy. May they attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu,
Sadhu,
sadhu.
sadhu.
Idamme nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idamme nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idamme nyati Sukita hontu nyatayo. At the same time, may Deva, Naga, Mahedika also receive all these good karmas. May they be well and happy. May they protect and bless all of you. Datuk Chia and everybody who have come here for this Dhamma sharing dialogue session. May all your loved ones, family members always be blessed and protected by Deva, Naga, Mahedika all the time. May your Dhamma journeys become very successful, seamless, with the support of all these non-human beings. Finally, may Devanaga Mahedika also attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu,
Sadhu, sadhu.
Ittavata cha ammehi sambatang punya sangpadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sangpatti siddhiya akasattha cha bhummatta devanaga
Mahedika.
punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkang tulu sasanang Chirang rakkang tu desanang, chirang rakkang tumang paranti. May we be in the company of Kalyana Mittas as we discuss. These Kalyana Mittas are not penniless, super broke people only. I mean, they are people who are doing well in their life, not even rich people. Those who have a good future, those who try to help out other people with the Dhamma experience. May we be in the company of Kalyana Mittas who can be the light to us all the way to Nibbana. Thinking thus, we're going to make the wish. Imina punya kammena mami bala samagamu satang samagamu hotu yava Nibbana patiya. Finally, may all the good karmas we be making today be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana silissa nichang vaddha pachaino chattaru dhamma vaddhanti ayuvannu sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha atu nibbana sampatti iminati samicchatu. Sadhu,
Sadhu, sadhu.
Over to Brother Leslie. Yes.
So with that, we've come to the end of this evening's dialogue sessions with Datuk Chia and Dr. Chandima. I hope you found it interesting and beneficial in your daily lives and your careers. So let me take this opportunity on behalf of the Management Committee and the monks of the Buddhist Mahavihara to thank Dr. Charlie, Brother Charlie, for being here. I know you're a very busy man. And we really appreciate the fact you have instantly accepted our invitation to, or rather Bhante's invitation to join us in this session here, in this dialogue session. And we wish you all the best in your career. Success in your career.
Fatat.
Fatat, yeah. You don't believe in luck, just don't worry. All the good merits are going to come to you. And also to Bhante, Dr. Chandima, thank you Bhante for taking time off and also spending almost 2 months here with us, Buddhist Mahavihara. Not just Buddhist Mahavihara, I think he has been traveling all over the country doing his Dhammadutta work, and I think a lot of people appreciated and benefited from his experience and wisdom. And now he's going to take on a new role in the Philippines. Bhante, we wish you all the very best, and I'm sure with the blessings of the Devas and all the good karma, you'll be flying very soon. Yeah? And we look forward to having you back with us, if time permits. I'm sure time will permit because you're not very far, you're only in the Philippines. So if time does be on our side, please, Bhante, please accept the invitation to come back to Buddhist Mahavihara and to Malaysia rather, and continue your good service. I'm sure there's a lot of people look forward to your Dhamma sessions and Sutta classes as well. So with that, let me take this opportunity to thank all of you for being here this evening. It's almost going to be 10. So before we leave, there are some refreshments for those of you who are hungry. Please do help yourselves, and good night and sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Let's take a group photograph before we leave.